A lot of us are stuck at home, which means now more than ever we've got to take care of our furry friends keeping us company. So treat your dog with BarkBox Super Chewer, a themed collection of super tough toys, treats, and chews sent to your home every month. Use our link to get one free extra month. Go to superchewer.com/Simpsons or click the link in our description. That's superchewer.com/Simpsons. Hey everybody, this is Sari.
And this is Sean.
And we're the Simpsons siblings, and we talk about the Simpsons on a podcast.
And we post it online.
For your entertainment. And today we're talking about Trilogy of Error, which I'm super excited about.
I love this one.
Yes, this is my favorite of all the Simpsons trilogies.
How many are there?
One. So this was originally aired April 29th, 2001. It was written by Matt Selman and directed by Mike B. Anderson, I think, because my handwriting's terrible. And yeah, that is who wrote it. Our guest stars are Frankie Muniz, which, remember, he was like everywhere in the early thousands.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to him?
He grew up.
Yeah, but did he keep acting? Because I haven't seen him in like anything.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, I assumed he grew up. And then, yeah, we got Joe Mantegna. I never know if I got that right, as Fat Tony. We love him. Before we start on this one, it's absolutely nuts how many God's awful episodes are right near this one. Because this is such a fantastic episode. Like, the one before it is Simpsons Safari, which is like...
Oh, yeah, that one's...
Nah. And then, like, Homer versus Dignity, which is like...
It just absorbed the energy of those around it.
Yeah. So, this is like... This has to be the best episode of Season 12. By a long shot. But man, is it great. Diamond in the rough, hidden gem, other various rock metaphors.
Rock.
Yes.
I don't know why. So, speaking of which, we have the chalkboard opening, which says "Fire is not the cleanser," which I could see Bart burning stuff down.
Yes.
And then we have the couch gag where everyone comes in on the skateboards, and they have that ramp, and then Homer just flies off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Gets hurt.
Oh, yeah.
I like that one.
It's nice. Yeah, This episode is like a total format change, which is why I love it so much. I love episodes that kind of have... I don't even know what you would call this.
I kind of compared it in my mind, and I noticed some elements, like, you have some, like, Star Trek episodes where it's like a time loop. And I don't know if... I was thinking of that episode. The cause and effect episode from Next Generation.
That's my favorite Next Generation episode.
There's certain, like, audio and visual cues that when you see them for the first time, they stick out in your head. And then it's just, you're kind of like, oh, that stood out. Why is that? But then you realize that's, like, to resync your mind with the time frame and everything.
Yep.
I
love that we both thought of that independently of each other.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because that's exactly because I was thinking like, all hands abandon ship. All repeat, all hands abandon. Cut off.
Or there's like the glass breaking in Crusher's room.
Yep.
Anyone who's not a Star Trek fan is like, why am I here?
Jordy, I thought at first the catwalk was rotating, but really it was just me.
This week on Star Trek Siblings.
Maybe someday if we run out of Simpsons episodes, but that's unlikely. Flanders, son of a diddly. I love that got put in all three of the repeats.
Yep.
Because it's just so Flanders.
And then there's the guy driving the trash truck. He's just not even looking over anything. He's just got a straight stare.
He's
going
lost
forward.
in the sauce.
He's just one animation cell.
Yeah. He doesn't know what's going on. When I first saw this, because I remember watching this when it first aired, and I remember like after Homer does his thing and the intro and everything, when it first says Homer's Day, that's when I was first like, this is gonna be something special. This is gonna be something different, and it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've got Marge calling everyone down for breakfast after Homer puts deodorant on his entire body. And she's got this weird cereal that's like sticky.
I forgot to write down the name of it. But
It
sounded like it was from IKEA.
yeah, yeah, one of those kind of, yeah. Lisa really tries to give Homer an out, and she's so creative about it. Like, hey, Homer, let's go, look in the other room, wink, wink. And he's like, no, wink. But I sure want to get out of eating this terrible breakfast, wink.
I wrote it down, but I sure don't want to eat this crappy breakfast.
Yeah. And he like keeps winking like he thinks he's in on it. Oh, I also wrote, Homer isn't the only Simpson trying to build a robot. Because you remember from Itchy and Scratchy Land when the robot opens his head and Marge is like, see, Homer, that's why your robot never worked.
Basic electronics.
Yeah. So building robots runs in the family, but only one Simpson succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we do have Homer and Lisa going out to the living room and talking about Linguo, meeting him for the first time.
Uh-huh.
We learned that he's a party robot.
Yes. And the whole role reversal of Lisa saying, this is why I can't have nice things. Because usually that's what the parent says to the child when they mess things up, is this is why we can't have nice things. And Lisa has so much patience.
So, when Linguo airs out, because he drinks the beer, there's numbers on his screen, 418071. And I'm like, I paused it and I thought, this has to be a reference to something. So I punched that into Google. Only one page relating to The Simpsons came up, and it just had random facts about that number. Like,
Really?
nothing tying it back to the episode. Like, first of all, it's made up of several prime numbers multiplied together. But aside from that, all the other facts are like, it would take 8 days to count up to this number. And just random, like, the square root of this number is this. I'm like, why is this in a Simpsons wiki? There's like 6 bullet points of nonsensical information about this number. And that just opens up more of a mystery to me.
We are through the looking glass now, people. That's really fascinating. We could do an episode just on that.
Yeah, it ends up being nothing.
It's like if you take this word, remove some letters, and add more letters, it will say this. Like those types of conspiracies.
It'll say some funny word like Seattle.
Cucamonga. Oh, goodness. The thumb scene still gets me on edge.
Yeah, it cuts off so easily too.
Yeah. It's such like a jolly scene. It's like, oh, Homer's just messing around. Marge is just dealing with him. Like that happens in every Simpsons episode. He's jumping around and then it just happens so fast. And shout out to the sound effects person cuz it's like and then when the dog bites it and it's like
I do have to wonder if my thumb got cut off and it fell on the ground and right as Amos walked in.
Oh god.
Would he know that it's my thumb and not eat it, or what would a dog's reaction be?
So I don't know if I should tell this story.
Uh-oh.
I didn't get a thumb cut off, but you know how babies have like a piece of their umbilical cord still on them?
Oh no.
And it eventually falls off?
Oh no.
So my dear sweet daughter, when she was a baby, we were like, okay, this umbilical cord is going to fall off eventually. We weren't the ones to find the umbilical cord. Our dog was.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been a great episode.
We took it from him in time. He only had it for maybe like 10 or 20 seconds, but he did not care. He is also a very dumb dog. He is an absolute sweetheart, but he's very dumb. But that's what I'm saying. Santa's little helper is pretty dumb. So I don't doubt this sequence of events.
Yeah.
And yeah, now you know that story. Yeah.
Sorry I brought it up.
Oh, dear God. Yeah, so umbilical cords.
So then we get Marge calling 911 because, it's a medical emergency. Could lose a lot of blood and all that. And he said,
Oh, yeah.
help, I cut off my husband's thumb. Chief Wiggum's first thought is, attempted murder. That's how you murder someone, chop off their thumb.
Oh, yeah, you go for the thumb first. Everyone knows that. Basic self-defense.
Now, the real question is Chief Wiggum dumb for accepting 123 Fake Street? Mm-hmm. Or is he smart for knowing off the top of his head that that address exists?
I know, because that's... I almost wonder if it was just a coincidence that it happened to be right. Because he can't be that smart, considering the other events of the episode. Oh, and I was supposed to look this up. I don't know if it's called Chekhov's gun, which is like a story element where you have an item and it comes back to it later.
Something like that. Yeah, like if there's like a certain type of importance of an object, you can't discuss or draw attention to it without it being important later.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is exactly Chekhov's gun, because you're almost supposed to forget about the fake street thing. But there's so many moments in that episode, I almost call them like deposits and withdrawals. Like they're depositing the facts into the bank and then they withdraw them later.
And it generates our interest in the show.
Exactly. Oh my god. But yeah, that is like that happens multiple times in the episode, where like with the inflammable thing and with the whole the guns going off in the scene, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's so many different little ties from the first and second acts go towards subsequent acts, and it's just beautiful. So I always talk about the JPM, which is the jokes per minute, which is pretty good. The JPM is good on this one, but even more so, it's like actions per minute. Like things are constantly happening. Like we're only a couple minutes into the episode at this point. Like, and it just goes and goes and goes.
Well, because you basically, in like the whole story is only 7 or 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's told multiple times, but you gotta have this whole chain of events in that short amount of time. So you gotta...
It goes fast. She cuts off the thumb, and then there's the phone call scene, and then we go straight out to the car, and then she ends up hitting McBain's car, Wolfcastle's car, and then they steal the car. It's like bam, 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 bam. And it makes it very entertaining. Like, I wouldn't say this is one of the top 10 funniest Simpsons episodes, but it's one of the most entertaining Simpsons episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Dr. Hibbert is surprisingly undependable in this. Like...
Yeah, and even Marge notices. Yeah. Like, to use Dr. Nick as a more reliable alternative.
Oh, yeah. The one who doesn't understand what inflammable means.
Yeah.
Well, and he says something like, he's like, but I have finger insurance. And he's like, thumbs are not fingers.
Which that could possibly just be an actual loophole.
Yeah. Oh, considering, like, the medical system, like, you can kind of see that happening. And then he suggests, like, cutting off his other thumb for symmetry. And Homer kind of goes, symmetry, eh? And you can tell he has no clue what the word symmetry really means.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And so Homer goes to Moe's. Why does he go to Moe's? Because they're running out of ice. Yeah, that's right. And, of course, he can never just stop by Moe's. Like, it's like a series rule that he can't just stop by Moe's. He's got to go in there and drink, like, 10 beers.
Moe just doesn't care either.
No, he really doesn't.
He could have just been like, oh, here's this pickle juice or actual ice. Go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But no. Gotta sell some beer.
Gotta sell some beer. And then he's like, says he smells gangrene on him or something. Yeah. And Barney, like, pouring the hot coffee into his mouth.
I know. I could, like, feel it in my throat. Like, you know when you drink hot chocolate and it's too hot?
Yeah. And then the whole Blue Man Group Smurfs argument.
The Smurfs.
For some reason, I found that so hilarious as a kid. I remember repeating that, like, multiple times. Just for some reason. When he goes out of Moe's, I want to make sure I keep track of the story beats, because I figure most of you have seen this, but I know some haven't, so I want to, like, keep the story beats going.
Yeah.
But he, like, leaves the bar, and then Marge is gone.
Right.
And so then he starts trying to hitchhike. Which, the hitchhike joke is so dumb, but I love it for some reason. Because he's trying to hitchhike with the missing thumb.
Well, and then Cletus is the one who gets what he's doing.
Yeah, because he can relate with him because he's also missing fingers. Oh my god. What's that like? If anyone tells you a hog can't bite your finger off, they're lying or something.
They's lying.
They's lying.
It's like you're unsure of what the quote is, but as soon as you get into that tone of voice,
you hear it.
You know it's right.
Yeah, you hear it. Who voices Cletus? Is that Hank Azaria? Because I can picture that.
I'm not sure.
But I'm also not sure. Why is Dr. Nick's entrance in the back? Like, there's something so sketchy about that. Like, there's a sign that says, like, entrance in back.
Yeah. Well, there was also... They're driving down the freeway, and it says Dr. Nick next 7 exits or something like that.
What?
Yeah. Like, not in 7 exits, or it's like 4 or something like that. But
God.
It's like, why is this, like, over the next several?
Yeah, because normally you'd see that, like, you know, such and such city... next 3 exits or such and such town.
Maybe I'm just thinking too much, like we always do.
Yeah, that's why you love us. So that's when we get Dr. Nick with the inflammable thing. That's the first time we hear the inflammable remark, which is just English being a stupid language.
Yeah,
because like it really should be, because inflammable and flammable mean the same thing.
Yeah,
and that's stupid.
Yeah, because you could say discriminate and indiscriminate.
Yeah. Cletus's truck gets stolen. Marge is stealing cars left and right, but you don't know it's Marge yet.
Yeah.
So Cletus's truck like mysteriously gets stolen. So Homer has to walk to the Shelbyville hospital. I had to remind myself there aren't cell phones yet.
Yeah.
Like, at least the Simpsons haven't been established to have a cell phone. It wasn't common at this point.
It's still weird seeing cell phones in The Simpsons.
Yeah. We went through that whole cell phone transitional phase. Homer says goodbye to his thumb because it keeps shriveling. And he says, I always knew this day would come.
Yeah, that stood out to me too.
Did he just figure one day he was going to lose his thumb? Or that when he died, just all of his parts would start, like, falling off? Or when he was dying, he was just going to specifically say goodbye to his thumb and nothing else?
It's very oddly specific.
I have so many questions. Out of nowhere, there's an explosion, and Linguo's head comes flying in. And then we have the whole, Linguo dead?
Linguo is dead.
Also, a la Futurama, I noticed Linguo has square pupils.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you know. Okay, now it's Lisa's day. Which means we're going to start the whole time loop over again. I like that they cut just the right amount out of this intro scene so that it's not too repetitive, but you still remember the important parts.
It reminds me of that Star Trek episode, Cause and Effect.
Oh my gosh. Do we want to put the listeners through that sort of joke?
We don't have to.
You know, I was thinking the same thing about that episode. So we have the same events that happen again. Homer breaks the robot, and now we get to see Lisa go to her room just casually welding. Like, she has all the welding equipment, which, I mean, I'm not surprised.
I was like, the way she said, quiet please, some of us are welding, kind of sounded like pretentious and weird.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like when Homer screams and says, like, my thumb.
Yeah, it's obviously a pain scream and something's going on.
Uh-huh. I wrote she's used to these kinds of shenanigans. Like, she's been through this sort of ride enough times that she's like, oh, he's fine. The whole exchange with the sentence fragment.
Yeah.
Like,
she built him too well.
Yes. She programmed the sass. So we have her running to the bus because it's a science fair day, and Martin's diabolical here. Yeah. Like, it almost seems like he set up the bus to leave her behind.
But all he has is a plasma globe.
I'm wondering if he was doing something with the plasma globe. Like, maybe he altered it, or he was gonna have... Or he just brings that around regardless, and that wasn't even part of his project.
Maybe.
He did it for the dramatic effect of being able to do that hair thing. Yeah. Remember the time he got shocked by one of those?
Yeah, that hurt.
Didn't you put a coin on it?
Yeah, I put a penny on it to see what would happen.
Kids.
And all of the sparks went to it. And I was like, ooh, I better take it off. This is going to do something. And when I went to go touch it, like a 1/4-inch spark went to my finger. And there's a black spot on my finger. And it burned on the inside.
Wasn't that at a store?
It was like Spencer's or something like that.
You could have sued him and got money. I love the artsy-fartsy shots of Lisa running. Like the different angles and such.
Yeah.
And I guess the music and the whole scene is from Run, Lola, Run, which I have never seen or heard of prior to this.
Okay.
But it's making fun of that.
It kind of, I know it's not the same, but it kind of gives me the Ferris Bueller's.
Ferris Bueller's? That's my favorite 80s movie is Ferris Bueller's. Ferris Bueller's
Off Day.
Away Doff.
Ferris Bueller's Off Day.
Yes. That's like the made for VHS version that you accidentally get instead of the real version at the rental store.
Oh my God.
We're keeping that in. What does that remind you of, Sean?
It reminds me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It does. It kind of does. That whole, the running.
On his off day.
He's just a little off that day. Okay, so she runs into Krusty's car, and he tells her to get in because she's like part of his main demographic, and he's like, we'll get her to her school, and of course Mr. Teeny's driving the car.
I love Teeny's voice.
I love Mr. Teeny. My daughter has a Mr. Teeny stuffed animal, and she loves him. He's got little roller skates.
I just love Wiggum's like, hey, we got the same hat.
So we're talking about Mr. Teeny. He gets Lisa to school. It turns out it's the wrong school. Was it West Springfield Elementary?
West Springfield Elementary.
Which gave me Area 51A vibes.
Yes.
Which is another good one we should do at some point. And the French class.
Yeah, I don't know. The French class, it looks so similar, but on the back, it almost looks like a food pyramid.
Really?
But it just has like French fries, French bread, and
really?
It looks like crepes on it.
Oh my God!
I don't know if it's meant to look, but it's just a triangle with those foods on the 3 points.
Those are the only 3 things French people eat. And you learn about that in French class. That's amazing. I wonder if they were promotional from Oscar Mayer.
Did you know that French fries didn't originally come from France?
Yes, I know. It's because they were French cut.
No, it's because they were originally made in Greece.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, and the whole, they have to laugh in French.
Yeah.
Oh, Francais. Oh, God, it's so ridiculous. Okay, this is the one part of the episode I have a problem with. This kid that shows up out of nowhere, he has a little scene with Lisa, and they, get along really well, and then he disappears and has nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
Or with her life.
Yeah.
She knows where West Springfield is now.
Yeah. And he's just gone. Well, and I'm wondering if, because that's Frankie Muniz's character. This was in the heyday of Malcolm in the Middle. And I'm wondering if that was a big promotional thing where during Malcolm in the Middle, they'd be like, see Frankie Muniz in our next Simpsons episode.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of just threw him in there.
Where they show his character popping up in the corner of the screen while Malcolm in the Middle is on.
And they're like, you should stay tuned. And vice versa. You hear him in that and you're like, oh, maybe I should watch Malcolm in the Middle. I feel like it was kind of snuck because he has nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
Yeah, the characters popping up mid-episode is a total Fox thing to do.
Yeah.
Dancing around the screen while you're trying to watch the episode.
Don't they make fun of that in the Simpsons movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so then we get Lisa kind of realizing she's wasting a lot of time. She even mentions that she's wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
And ends up running to Moe's because she just figures Homer's going to be there at noon. Wiggum is listening in on someone with a wire. Why is he at Moe's for this?
Plot reasons?
It's basically just plot reasons.
Now, my thing is, Lisa comes in initially talking about her dad and the thumb and everything. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't Wiggum have noticed the connection of, like, hearing that his thumb got chopped off? Because he's the one that took the 911 call.
We're talking about Wiggum here, though.
Okay, there you go. That explains it.
That explains it. I'll just write it on my imaginary typewriter.
I'll torch the building and I'll do it again.
I'll do it again. Oh, sure. Oh, man. So Lisa runs out and we see Marge in the car. And she says, I stole it from McBain after cutting off your father's thumb. Lisa doesn't even blink at this. This is just normal. Like, she's used to this kind of crap. And they get going in the car. The car very quickly runs out of gas. Because she can't read the French, like, fuel gauge.
Was it French?
Or not French, Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it had some weird...
Like, the last one was like, Mamma Mia.
Yeah, like, very, very dumb, like, fake. I mean, I'm sure some Italian people say Mamma Mia, but... After they run out of gas, they hitch a ride in the back of Cletus's truck that Homer is in at that moment. And after they get out, they don't notice Homer, somehow, and they steal the truck. So that's how the truck gets stolen. And... Marge almost hits Bart, who is coming out of a sewer drain. And that's the end of Act 2.
And I remember this coming out, and something about Lisa's, like, gasp.
Yeah.
Being just, like, extra dramatic and really standing out.
Yeah. That's the other neat thing about this episode. Is it's very... 3-act structure, very clean-cut acts.
Yeah.
Like, whole first act, commercial break. Whole second act, commercial break. It's very clean. And I like that. So we got Bart's day.
Yes.
Bart's clock is so cute, where he tries to hit snooze, and it says, "Get 'em, boys!" And the two little Indian scratchies are hitting him.
I know. I like that.
I want that.
Lazy, huh?
We finally find out what Milhouse's big news is. Because we keep hearing in every single beginning that he's ringing the doorbell, and ding, 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 and then, oh, it's Milhouse. Oh, and he's got big news, and it's kind of like a lead up. You're wondering what it is. So they take the bikes. Milhouse rides Lisa's disturbingly comfortable bike, and they get to a small cave.
His butt kind of wiggles on the bike, too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, girls' bikes are generally the same, but painted different. I don't know if she had a different seat or what, but what are you talking about, Milhouse? And then they get to the cave, which is where he comes to cry.
The way he says it, this is where I come to cry.
Yeah, and Bart's reaction to it, he's just like, cool. Like, he doesn't judge him on it.
It's like Bart has his own place to go to cry.
Yeah. Oh. Either that or he gets that that's what Milhouse is like, and that's okay. Or Bart has his own cave to cry in. I love the line delivery on, wow, sacks! Burlap sacks!
It's so exciting.
Oh man, those burlap sacks. So there's fireworks in the sacks, in the burlap sacks. And they use them for various shenanigans. There's like a small little montage, including they put them on one of the bikes and the tire kind of goes down the hill. Ends up arriving at Dr. Nick's and setting the thing on fire, which is the inflammable ether.
You know, and there's something about like when that wheel takes off down the road. I don't know the name of the person, like the Foley recorder, Foley artist, whatever. If they recorded like a sound for that instead of using like a stock audio, there's probably stories of them having fun playing with fireworks.
Yeah.
And getting not only the fireworks to spin and do all that, but to get it like by a microphone. And that had to have been a fun day.
They also, that would have been the same group that would have had to put together the Homer getting his thumb cut off sounds and the dogs chewing on it sounds and the lingual exploding. Like, they had a fun day that day. So after they inadvertently blow up Dr. Nick's, the cops come for them, and of course they run into a building, and it's 123 Fake Street. And that is like something from minute 3 of the episode being paid off, like a throwaway line in minute 3 being paid off in like minute 20.
Yeah.
Like that is my salute you, people who wrote that. Wow.
I love Lou asking if he can run in with his gun pointed sideways.
Yeah, I love Chief Wiggum's response. He said, "Whatever you want, birthday boy." Like, it's your special day.
And he just looks so proud and tough in the next scene, holding it sideways.
Oh, Lou. So the cops find them, and they make the deal for them to be the snitches. And when you make that connection to the beginning, well, not even the beginning, it was like halfway through when Chief Wiggum kind of rats out the snitches and they get supposedly shot. When you figure out that that's them getting into that situation, it's a big oh crap moment.
Yeah.
And they're being so dang obvious about it with like the big chunky tape recorder in like his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we can take this out if I'm wrong, wasn't there another thing with Wiggum and a wire and him messing that up?
It was, but it was Homer, and he had a giant hat that had a camera in it.
Oh, that's right.
And he had to go into the Quickie Mart, but I can't remember why.
Because of the hot dog and like the unsanitary food.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so it was similar, but it wasn't Bart.
Okay.
Yeah. We have Bart setting off the fireworks, which is what makes the gunfire sound that we think is what killed the informants earlier in the episode. And Bart escapes through the sewer drain. And that's when Marge almost hits him. And she barely dings his head.
But enough that it sounds like it hurts.
Like, ding! So the mob bosses, whoever, follow Fat Tony and everybody, follow them down like an alleyway, and Marge is yelling at them to stop, and she ends up throwing Linguo at them, and they have this weird argument.
What was her plan with that, though?
I think it was just pure desperation.
Yeah.
She was just like, I mean, if you see your kid being chased down a hallway with mobsters and the only thing you have in your possession is a grammar robot, you're gonna throw the grammar robot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got nothing, you've got nothing else in your disposal. You've stolen a truck that cannot fit through the alleyway. You're gonna throw the grammar robot.
Yeah, that's true.
And Linguo overloads because the mobsters can't speak with full sentences. We get the whole "shut up, you face."
Shut up your face.
Yes. You give the best line dialogue for that, because I've heard that from you many times. Linguo overloads, and all the fireworks go off and stuff, and that's when the head explodes and shows up with Homer.
Yep.
Homer gets over there really fast.
Yeah, and to be able to, like, know where it launched from.
Yeah.
Impressive.
And the mafia guys figure out a special fix for all this, because, you know, Lisa's like, oh, my science project, and I need to get back to school, and, you know, Homer's thumb's off, and so they figure out a perfect solution, which is, isn't he called Legs? The mafia guy. So. He sews up the thumb in front of the class for the science project, and she gets first place.
That's impressive, too, because, like, the thumb was wrinkly from being soaked in pickle juice.
Yeah.
It had shriveled so much that the bone was sticking out.
Yeah.
But we can't just have Homer with no thumb for the rest of the series.
I mean, they could have gotten around it. But then there wouldn't have been a satisfactory conclusion to the episode.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see a quick, after Lisa gets first place, I would have loved to see a quick shot of Martin. You know, like, oh yeah, or, you know.
And what his project was.
Yeah, what was it? Come on. We need to know. Was he putting a penny on that thing?
That would have been stupid.
What kind of stupid kid would do that?
Penny will start a fire.
So, Mr. Teeny randomly shows up at the end and says the plot makes no sense. Which is the other tiny part of this episode that I hate. Because I feel like it was kind of a cop-out. Because to me, at least, it feels like they were worried they weren't going to pull it off. Like, it'd be like at the end of a Twilight Zone if Rod Serling looked at the screen and was like, gee, I hope that all made sense. Like,
yeah, like I felt like the episode did make sense.
Yeah. And and it's such like a small gag, you don't need it. But maybe they just didn't know what to put in there. But it's such a solid episode, and to end on that, it's just kind of like,
It kind of like demeans.
Yeah. And I mean, it very could have easily just ended before that, because we've had other episodes, like, not every Simpsons episode ends on a gag. Sometimes it's just like them going, ha ha ha, and then it kind of fades to black.
Yeah.
Cue credits. But, I mean, other than that, this is a great...
I love this episode.
I love this one so much. And so much of it, it's not super crazy funny, but it's so well put together that it's just entertaining as hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not...
Yeah.
And, like, the new format is refreshing, and you just want to... Like, as soon as you realize that it's going to be multiple parts, you start looking for things and facts it up. Like, this one gets your brain, like, more engaged into what's going on in the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could make one of those, like from the memes, I forget what it's called, the guy with the bulletin board, and he's going like this. You could make that with, like, ties to all the different parts of the episode that tie together, like the fake street and, the going through the sewers, going through the caves, the snitch, the linguo, all that.
From Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's it, yeah.
Where he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
We had to make this sound for the podcast.
I feel like I should watch that, because I feel like it would have humor that I'd like, but I've never seen it.
It's been a long time since I've seen, like, a third of the show, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I should look into it. But anyways, yeah, this is a great episode, especially if you're one of those purists that only watches seasons 1 through 8 or 1 through 10 or whatever. This is quality. Like, watch this episode. If you stopped watching at that point, watch this one anyways, because it's totally worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
This isn't just a great Simpsons episode. This is a great, like, example of how to write a great TV episode. And it's great.
I just think it's neat.
I just think it's neat. Yeah, I'd like to give a big thank you to Timmy boy.
Woohoo!
Woo! Timmy O'Toole, Timothy Burleson, who is our only patron, and we love him, and he gets to get this episode 4 days early, and he gets a video version of it, and he gets to hear all these random stupid things Sean's.
Yeah, the unedited version is 3 times longer than the actual podcast episode.
And you get to see my dog, like, 4 times, because he didn't know how to sit still. And you get to hear me say, a lot.
All great reasons to be a patron.
Oh, yes, all great reasons. But yeah, thank you, Timmy. We love you, baby. Yeah, well, and if you want to join the Patreon, we're at www.patreon.com/SimpsonsSibs. That's Simpsons S-I-B-S. Which realize it has IBS in it.
On that note.
Okay, so join us next time when we will be covering Season 6, Episode 24, Lemon of Troy. This is like one of the classics of the classics. So definitely watch that episode before you listen to get the full experience. And until next time, bye everybody. Bye, Tim.